Hello students, welcome back in this new lecture of with a new topic. We will start today the concept of distribution of ocean and continents. I hope the first three important parts of video you have seen, and I hope you like the videos, the interior of the earth. So this concept, whatever we have studied from the interior of the earth, we will use the concept here in this chapter in the distribution of ocean and continent. Today we will particularly learn some important process only. Today is a beginner lesson to understand the important process. From the next lecture we will understand different mechanism, how oceans behave, how continent behave, and this kind of important question we will analyze. Myself Pratik Chakraborty. So let's begin our journey to understand our earth in a more scientific way. So, distribution of ocean and continent, part 1. Please take out your book, Fundamentals of Physical Geography. Today, what we will learn, three important questions we will find, answers we will find. First is a concept of continental drift. Drifting means moving, and continent, you know, the landmass. Okay, what are the process and the steps of continental drift? Next point is the evidence in support of continental drift. So, what are the evidence we have? That to prove something we need evidence. Okay, only assumption doesn't work in scientific, in logical world. We need evidence to prove. So we will understand some important evidence, and finally what are the forces of drifting. Okay, what are the reasons and what are the forces behind of this drifting of the huge landmass, we will try to understand in this chapter. So let's begin our journey with the concept of continental drift and what is continent. In the previous chapter, you have studied the interior of the earth. You're already familiar with the world map. You know that continents cover 29% of the surface of the earth and remainder is under oceanic waters. The positions of the continent and the ocean bodies as we see them in the map have not been the same in the past. Moreover, it is now a well accepted fact that oceans and continents will not continue to enjoy their present positions in the time to come. We all know the tectonic features, na? That how earthquakes takes place, volcanoes used to come, it makes the landform, it shapes the earth crust in a varied way. So whatever we see today, it is not permanent, it may change. If this is so, the question arises, what were their position in the past? So if this question arises, that if the present is not, it is not static, we used to say that all the process of earth is dynamic, then what is our past? Why and how do they change their position? Why the continents they change their position? Even if it is true that the continents and ocean have changed and are changing their position, you may wonder as to how scientists know this, how they determined their early position. We find the answer to some of these related questions in this chapter. So particularly in this chapter we'll understand what are the position before in the planet Earth, different types of continent. We will analyze the proof, and finally we will understand the forces of moving this huge continent. Continental drift. In the right hand side you can see a map and the Atlantic Ocean you can see. I have marked with a S, you can see there. So if you see the coastline of North America and Europe, and if you see the coastline of South America and Africa, if you just cut the maps, the S portion, it can easily fit it like a jigsaw. That means what? That means maybe North America and Africa is united in the past. This question arises. And maybe South America and Africa united in the past. So what are the forces acts to and tends this continent to drift, to break? We had a proof here. Observe the shape of the coastline of Atlantic Ocean. You will be surprised by the symmetry of the coastline on either side of the continent. No wonder many scientists thought of this similarity and considered the possibility of the two Americas, Europe and Africa, to be once joined together. So two Americas, that is North America, South America, Europe and Africa, at an initial stage they are joined together. From the known records of the history of science, it was Abraham Ortelius, a Dutch mapmaker, who first proposed such a possibility as early as 1596. When people are making maps, this jigsaw concept has been realized by Mr. Abraham Ortelius, a Dutch mapmaker. In 1596, he first recognized this thing, and later on, Antonio Pellegrini drew a map showing the three continents together. And later on, Antonio Pellegrini have drawn that how this jigsaw can be fitted. So your homework is that just buy a map. It will cost 1 rupee. A map from any stationery shop. Cut the South America and Africa and try to joint it. You will see it will easily joint like a jigsaw. So to understand this concept, let's see a animation that what is the proposed way to see the continent. But before seeing the animation, let's have a clear-cut picture of continental drift. However, it was Alfred Wegener, a German meteorologist. Meteorologist means what? Meteorology means logical understanding and logical study of weather and climate. Scientific study of weather and climate is known as meteorology, who put forth a comprehensive argument in the form of continental drift theory in 1912. This was regarding the distribution of ocean and continent. According to Wegener, all the continents formed a single continental mass and mega ocean surrounded the same. So at an initial Earth that I'm talking about, it has only one continent and one ocean body that surrounds. The continent, the supercontinent, was named as Pangaea, which meant all Earth, and the mega ocean was called Panthalassa, meaning all water. He argued that around 200 million years ago, the supercontinent Pangaea began to split. Pangaea first broke into two larger continental mass as Laurasia and Gondwana, forming the northern and southern components respectively. Subsequently, Laurasia and Gondwana continued to break into various smaller continents that exist today. A variety of evidence was offered in support of the continental drift. So what are the important points we get from here? First, who propounded the concept of continental drift? That is Alfred Wegener. Which is the name of the supercontinent? That is Pangaea. The mega ocean, that is Panthalassa. When they used to exist? 200 million years ago. When Pangaea split it split it into two continental mass. One is Laurasia and another is Gondwana. And later on, Laurasia and Gondwana, they further divided into smaller continent. From this clear-cut image, we can see that yes, this is a starting of our continental drift. Let's see an animation here. This is the initial stage, approximately 200 million years ago. This thing you can see, this is 200 million years ago, and see slowly gradually the time decreasing. 185 million years, 180 million years, 175 million years, 170, 165, 160, 155, 150. Slowly the time proceedings, and you can see the division of continents here. You can see Africa and South America is separating. Africa and South America is separating here in this map, you can see. Okay, and you can see India here. It is joining, it's going this side to meet the Europe. This is India. It is going in the northwestern direction, northeastern direction. It is going, and it will meet. The formation of Australia is clear now. Okay, so this is present day world map in front of you. So from 200 million years before till 15 million years, you can see how the relatable position changes. To understand this concept a little bit in a more lucid way, let's see another animation here. Okay, this is our present day India, you can see, but initially India was not like that. If I imagine a world that is Pangaea and Panthalassa, how it will look like? Let's see through animation, where Antarctica, Australia, India, they are connected somehow. This is the single landmass. okay, where South America and Africa connected. Okay, you can see here South America and Africa, and here is the second landmass, that is the uh, India and okay, 1 minute, wait. Yes, India, Antarctica, and Australia connected together. Okay. Next part is what? Next part is we having our North America, Europe, and Asia. They are connected together. Okay. And if I see this in a full frame, it is the Pangea. It is known as Pangea. I hope the concept of Pangea is clear to you now. So Pangea as an initial stage was a single landmass, and the entire water body is known as Panthalassa. The entire water body is known as Panthalassa. Okay. So after a lot of changes takes place, and slowly ocean formed, Atlantic Ocean and all, and the continent started drifting. So India, you can see it merged with Asia, and in the boundary you can see the formation of Himalayas. Okay, and this is the present day world map we have. Okay, this is the present day world map we have. So that is the basic concept of continental drift. So Pangea, Panthalassa, these are the important things we have learned. And this is the final map, where you can see I have made 225 million years ago, that is approximately 200 millions. Pangea you can see here. After that 150 millions, when Pangea divided into two parts, Laurasia. Laurasia comprises of three continents: North America, Europe, and Asia. And Gondwana consists of five important continents, that is South America, Africa, Antarctica, Australia, and India. In 100 million years ago, this it started spreading, and today, Earth's today, you can see this is the image of the present day Earth. That is all about continental drift. So it is a clear-cut picture in front of you that how these divisions takes place. And one evidence we have understood, that the jigsaw concept. If I cut the maps and if I paste it together, the coastline will match. Next, in this part, we will analyze some more evidence. First evidence is the matching of continents jigsaw fit. The shoreline of Africa and South America facing each other have a remarkable and unmistakable match. It may be noted that a map produced using a computer program to find the best fit for the Atlantic margin was presented by Bullard in 1964. It proved to be quite perfect. The match was tried at 1000 fathom line instead of present shoreline. There's a concept of fathom line, it is not there in your syllabus, but whenever we are measuring the depth of any oceans and all, fathom, the concept of fathom used to take place. So a precise analysis, a precise matching, many a times geographers and cartographer used to refer fathom line. Okay, it's very useful. Next concept is that rock of same age across the ocean. The radiometric dating or the carbon dating methods developed in the recent period have facilitated correlating the rock formation from different continents across the vast ocean. The belt of ancient rock of 2000 million years from Brazil coast matches with those of Western Africa. So Brazil is in South America, and Africa, so you all know. So the earliest marine deposit along the coastline of South America and Africa are of the Jurassic age. This suggests that the ocean did not exist prior to that time. That means, what is the basic meaning of this thing? That when the continents are there, they all are united. When the ocean is there, there is all united ocean, that is Panthalassa. So the material present in Panthalassa was somehow reflect in the continents, in the side of the continents also. So when these continents and ocean, drifting, so the sample started drifting also. So if I study the samples of South America, it will definitely match with the sample of Africa. If I study a sample of India, it will definitely match with the sample of Australia. These are the things. Next important concept is the placer deposit. Placer deposit means what? That ore. Okay, the occurrence of rich placer deposit of gold in Ghana coast and the absolute absence of source rock in the region is an amazing fact, because for a placer deposit, for a depositing of minerals, of any kind of mineral, we need a source rock, we need a ore. But when you see the condition of Ghana coast, the ore rock is absent, you cannot see. But then why this deposit has come here, and how this has come, how it is formed there? There is a big question. The gold bearing veins are in Brazil, and it is obvious that the gold deposit of Ghana are derived from the Brazil plateau when two continents lay side by side. That means when Brazil, South America, and Ghana, Africa, when they are together at that time, at that same time, maybe the placer deposit originated. But when the drifting started, most of the placer deposit comes to Brazil, and abundant placer deposit is in the Ghana coast. So these are some of the important evidences we used to collect. Next important evidence, you used to see the jigsaw fit concept that I have shown you through animation, and this is also a jigsaw fit example. Next important example is the concept of Tyolite rock. Tyolite rock. So in this image, you can see the Tyolite rock. Why this Tyolite rock is important? It is the sedimentary rock formed out of the deposit of glacier. The Gondwana system of sediment from India is known to have its counterpart of 6 different landmass of the southern hemisphere. So whenever I used to say about Gondwana, so let's see the picture first. This is the picture of Gondwana. In Gondwana, there are 5 important continents: South America, Africa, Australia, Antarctica, and India. Okay, so that is Gondwana. Next, see here, the Gondwana system of sediment from India is known to have its counterpart in 6 different landmass in the southern hemisphere. That means what? The variation of tylite that I get in India, the same tylite I am getting in Australia, the same tylite I am getting in Antarctica, as well as in South America and Africa. This is the basic picture is clear that these all 5 important, 5-6 important continents are together as in a Gondwana shape, Gondwana landform. At the base, the system has a thick tylite indicating extensive and prolonged glaciation. So when you dig inside India, any part of India, most of the part I'm talking about, particularly if you say the peninsula India, the plateau India, if you dig many a parts of Karnataka plateau, after that Andhra Pradesh plateau, if you dig, you will get tylite. If you go to Australia, Queensland, if you dig very interior of the Queensland, you will get tylite. If you go to Antarctica, in the extreme part of that northwestern Antarctica, if you dig inside, you will get tylite. Counterparts of these successions are found in Africa, Falkland Island, Madagascar, Antarctica, Australia, besides India. Overall resemblance of the Gondwana type sediment clearly demonstrate that these landmass had remarkably similar histories. The glacial tylites provide unambiguous evidence of paleoclimates and also of drifting of continents. What is paleoclimates? Paleoclimatic means, paleo means what? Old or historic. Okay, climate means you all know. So if you study tylite, this rock, easily you can identify what is our past climate. And this is a very interesting part for geomorphologists. Those who belongs to geography, there is a very specialized branch known as geomorphology, and there you can understand and you can analyze different kinds of rock, and you can study paleoclimates, paleogeomorphology. This concept you are there, that you are taking evidence of history and comparing with the present, like this way. I hope the concept of tylite is clear to you. Moving on to the next part, the distribution of fossil. When identical species of plant and animals adapted to living on land or in freshwater are found on either side of the marine barriers, a problem arises regarding accounting for such distribution. Suppose I am getting kangaroo. Kangaroo is in Australia, we all know, but suddenly I discover kangaroo in Himalayas, for example. So what can be the implication? What can be the interpretation of this idea? That means many a times what happens? These regions are together. Maybe some species of kangaroo comes here. Maybe. But we don't have any proof till now. The observation that lemurs, there is an image of 2 big eyes, monkey-like structure you can see here, an animal. This is known as lemurs. Occur in India. It is very common in India. If you go to Madhya Pradesh, if you go to Kerala, after that Sholapur, Nagpur, Puducherry, these places, lemurs you can see. Okay, the same lemur you can see in Madagascar and Africa. Let some to consider a contiguous landmass known as Lemuria, linking these three land masses. So from these identical animals, you can easily see that yes, they have a very good relation. But if you imagine India, how it is very from Africa, how it is very from South America, the distance you can see. So it's a clear-cut picture that these three continents are together in ancient, in early times. Next important evidence we used to get, that is the evidence of a Mesosaurus. Below there is a dinosaur-like creature you can see with a fish-like tail, that is a Mesosaurus, a small reptile adapted to shallow brackish water. The skeleton of these are found only in two localities. One is in the Southern Cape province of South Africa, and uh, Iravar formation of Brazil, that is South America. So from this Mesosaurus skeleton, it is finally proved that these continents are together at an initial time. The two localities presently are 4,800 kilometers apart from the ocean. So between Atlantic Ocean, there is South America, there is Africa. It's very far. So how Mesosaurus was there? So these are the some important evidence and question we are able to answer. Okay. So let's recall once again whatever we have studied till now. Let's have a look. So finally, we have seen a lot of evidences are there, and the distributions of fossil proved this evidence. The last part is the force for drifting. That what are the possible forces? We don't have proof to prove that yes, these forces initially was there, but we don't have any proof. But these are theories. Forces for drifting. What can be the two important forces identified by scientists? One is the pole filling force and another is the tidal force. Polar filling force, you can see the image of the rotating earth. You can see the image. Okay, let me make the image more interesting a little bit. If I just squeeze the image for like this, now you can easily understand. Okay, okay, this is present the earth. Suppose polar filling means what? See, our earth is rotating. Okay, it is rotation. The polar filling force relates to the rotation of the earth. You are aware to the fact that the earth is not a perfect sphere. It has a bulge at the equator. Bulge means fatty little bit, and the bulge is due to the rotation of the earth. As the earth is spinning in an inclination, a bulge used to take place. Okay, the equator is very much fluffy, very much flat, bulging in nature. Okay, the second force that was suggested by Wegener, the tidal force, it is due to the attraction of moon and the sun that develops tides in ocean water. Wegener believed that these forces would become effective when applied more many millions years. So Wegener used to believe that at the initial stage of the earth, there was at the very beginning stage there was Panthalassa, only one ocean. Hence the impact of one ocean is very much huge in one landmass, in the single landmass. So the impact he can just imagine. But however, most of the scholars consider these forces to be totally inadequate. So researchers are going on. So maybe from your batch a new research ideology will come and it will attempt to prove the theory. Okay, that's all about the force of drifting. So let's conclude. It is interesting to note that for continental drift, most of the evidence was collected from continental areas in form of distribution of flora and fauna. That means plant and animal. Okay. A number of discoveries during the post-war period added new information to the geological literature. Particularly, the information collected from ocean floor mapping provided new dimension for the study of distribution of ocean and continent. In our next class, we will study ocean floor configuration and convection current theory. I hope you have understood the concept, and as a very simple way I tried my best to give the description, and that's all about that how our continents formed, how it emerged. And this is a beautiful story that yes, many years ago our continents was a single land mass. Okay, so after that, due to all geological changes, geological activity, all these things changed, and we can see the present day world in front of us. Okay, so that's all about the lecture. I hope you like the lecture, and in the next class we will do the configuration of ocean floor. Thank you so much and take care. We will meet in the next class.